we now have schools bribing football players to get better grades. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. I saw this recent article, Missouri, among schools offering academic bonuses to athletes. It says, growing list of schools joining Missouri. Most schools in the SEC are now offering some kind of academic bonus to student athletes. 10 out of 14 current members of the conference offer bonuses. So do incoming members, Texas and Oklahoma. As of early April, ESPN reported that 22 FBS schools were operating some kind of incentive program. This type of incentive program is good for both student athletes and schools alike, as the schools see their average GPAs increase. However, schools with tighter academic budgets may not be able to provide this type of program. That has to come out of their revenue. So, very funny. Schools are now offering some sort of incentive for getting good grades. So if you get like a 90%, now I wonder how that's structured. I wonder how it's set up. If you get above a 90%, you get $5,000. If you get above 80%, you get $3,000. Realistically, when it comes to the way NIL recruiting has been weaponized, this is actually a positive. The idea paying players to literally get better grades, it's got me wondering. You take a look at someone like C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young. If I was C.J. Stroud, you couldn't motivate me to go to class once in the fall semester of 2022. I'm guaranteed to be basically a top 5 pick. There would just be no motivation. Remember Justin Fields? I remember Justin Fields didn't go to a single class on campus, and SEC, you remember when that got reported? SEC fans, of all people, were the ones that were mad about it. They were like, oh my God, Justin Fields doesn't go to class. Most of those, you think Bryce Young is going to class? They take these online things, they're not even there. I mean, they have someone else taking the class for them. What this type of structure will help, it'll help the guys that'll probably be undrafted. There's a lot of good college football players that don't have a spot in the NFL. Take, for example, someone like J.T. Barrett, one of the greatest, college football, Ohio State quarterbacks of all time. He set all the records, mainly because he was there forever. But he's someone, unbelievable college career, literally no NFL future. Some of these kids, they might need an incentive. They might need, listen, you want $5,000, $10,000, get an A in this class. I'm sure the kids are cheating. I mean, half this stuff is online anyways. I don't know how it's structured at campuses, but at least it is an incentive. I think that's actually something good to come out of NIL. Of course, this is not going to affect any major 5-stars recruitment or anything like that. It's something for the lower end guys who, it might push them a little bit more to get better grades and to get their degree quicker. So this is something that was originally, I believe, reported. Yeah, it was reported months ago. I remember hearing about it, but it looks like Missouri is joining, most of the SEC schools offering players bonuses. Kind of like in basketball. You score a total number of points over the season, you get a bonus. If you get a 90% in chemistry, you're going to be getting a bonus. So I thought that was interesting, and it should help the lower end guys that aren't NFL, that don't have NFL potential. Maybe you're just focused on college football, you don't care about your grades, but if you can get an extra $5,000, $10,000, I don't know how much money they're giving to these kids if they get like an A or whatever, but it is interesting to think about. Another thing I wanted to talk about, interesting article here. CBS explains why Brett Venables, Lincoln Riley are the most likely to win big early. So I completely agree that Lincoln Riley is going to win big early. I think USC at this point, with the talent they've got coming in, they're possibly a preseason top 10 type team, and I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes because I saw another story about how talented USC is and the amount of just influx of talent they've brought in from the transfer portal. But Brett Venables is a really interesting case. If I was an Oklahoma fan, I don't know if underwhelmed is the right word for the Brett Venables hire, but you're a major university. You've put multiple first round, type picks into the NFL recently. The quarterbacks, back-to-back number 1 overall picks, Baker Mayfield, Kyler Murray. This is definitely a different type of coach you are hiring. He's older, and more importantly, he's defensive minded. Maybe you could say kind of like Kirby Smart. We've seen Kirby Smart have a lot of success, but I don't really know if modeling your program, your hire, if you're Oklahoma, off of what Georgia did with Kirby Smart is the right strategy. What you have to understand is Georgia is in a very unique position to where they have so much in-state talent. It's very, very easy for them to have great recruiting classes just by recruiting in-state. My concern with Oklahoma, now that Brett Venables is there, is attracting the out-of-state skill position talent. The out-of-state superstar quarterback, the out-of-state superstar wide receiver, whether that's from Texas, California, Florida, wherever you want to recruit these guys. I'd be a little concerned if I was an Oklahoma fan. Your defense most certainly will improve going from Lincoln Riley to Venables, but this is an older coach. He was at Clemson for a while. He didn't want to be a head coach. Now he wants to be. We know Clemson, I will say, if you're an Oklahoma fan, the reason for optimism, Clemson, they didn't always have the best recruits. They do now. Now they're loaded with talent on the defense side of the ball. You've got Miles Murphy. You've got Brian Brees here. You've got Trenton Simpson. You've got Barrett Carter. They're loaded now. But Brett Venables had those, Clemson defenses top 5 in 2017, 2018. They didn't have top 10 recruiting classes back in 2013, 2014. And he coached up that talent and turned it into a top 5 unit. Of course, the ACC's been down recently, so that could also factor into it. But I would be a little concerned if I'm Oklahoma. This is an older coach, and this is a defensive coach. So it's a big change, and the concern I would have, recruiting the quarterbacks, recruiting the elite skill position talent to come to Oklahoma, that could be a little bit tough if you are Brett Venables. Now this Jordan Addison update, oh my goodness. I don't know how bad it was with Jordan Addison, but I'm going to read this off and then tell you guys what I think. So, USC wide receiver Jordan Addison told ESPN's Paolo Uggetti that various Pittsburgh coaching changes led him down the path to transfer. So, I don't know who is advising these kids. If I was advising Jordan Addison, I would say don't talk to anyone about your reason for transfer. And here's why. Originally, you see the quote, it says, coaching changes led him to transfer. But then you look down and it says, Addison said the decision was overall a gut move. So you were voted the best receiver in college football in 2021. Pittsburgh lands a good transfer quarterback out of the portal from USC in 2022. You've been at Pittsburgh 2-3 years. You feel comfortable. You're being projected to be a first-round pick. But now you're telling me transferring from Pittsburgh after being voted the nation's best receiver and being mocked in the first round of many 2023 NFL mock drafts, now you tell me, oh, it was a gut move why I transferred. I know he also mentioned coaching changes, but something doesn't add up there. And my big fear now, and I actually said I believe this 100%, I think USC boosters, and this is total tampering, I think USC boosters gave Addison the idea to transfer, literally to transfer. I don't think there was any idea in Jordan Addison's head to transfer or leave Pittsburgh University, and you had USC boosters coming up to him and saying, listen, you've got 1 year left before you're going to the NFL. Come here, come to SoCal, market yourself, make $3 million. We'll give you a beachfront home. Although it was reported he got like a beachfront house. I don't even know how that works. He's only going to be at USC 1 year. So does he get to sell the home after he's gone? I mean, it's just, maybe that'll be his vacation home. But this whole story, man, when he said it was a gut move to transfer from a program where you were just voted the nation's best receiver, and then people can say, well, Kenny Pickett went to the NFL. Okay, but they got a very capable transfer quarterback who's put up big numbers in college football. they got a very capable transfer portal guy. So it is so sad, and I wholeheartedly believe that Jordan Addison, I think USC boosters gave him the idea to transfer. Like, most people are saying, well, he was going to transfer and then USC tampered with him. I think they just straight up came to him, whether it's on social media or they contacted him through his agent or whatever. They came to him and gave him the idea and said, listen, I understand you like Pittsburgh. You had a great year. That's awesome. We have more talent. We have a better situation. Come live in California. It's better than, Pennsylvania. Come make $3 million. Market yourself better. This is so sad that this happened, and it's the day and age. This is what we're really trying to avoid. This would be labeled like aggressive tampering. It's not like Jordan Addison was going to enter the portal and then they tampered with him. This is really this is like courting somebody. It's literally courting someone is what they did to Jordan Addison. And then we've got this NIL legislation discussion. Athletic directors believe some form of NIL legislation is coming. Now it says in this article, and this is mind-blowing, how horrible the NCAA is at their jobs. There are two problems here. The NCAA enforcement is understaffed. We reported several weeks ago about their staffing issues, down 15 to 20 people due to the pandemic. I believe number two is the fear of being sued by wealthy boosters and booster collectives for one reason, potential antitrust, and two, potentially not being able to prove that inducements are inducements. So that is the main hurdles the NCAA is currently facing. Number one, they're understaffed. The NCAA is so just horrifically bad at their jobs. They're no wonder these boosters are cheating blatantly. They're understaffed. They can't even police it because they don't even have the people to police it because they let people off or they laid people off and fired people due to money, whatever. And then the other major issue is the fear. I don't understand. If you bull ban Texas A&M, you would not be sued by their boosters. So I don't understand that at all. Quote, as an AD told me, it can smell like an inducement, it can look like an inducement, but you've got to prove that it isn't. No, you don't. Number one, you don't have to prove anything. All you have to do, if I was advising the NCAA, number one, this is what I do. They're concerned they're not going to have the smoke and gun to actually get them because it seems like these boosters are trying to wheel around what an NIL collective is, things like that. They're trying to get away with it by skirting around the rules. This is all you have to do. I would tell the NCAA, look into the recruitment of Walter Nolan and LT Overton. And honestly, if you can't find anything, we can still bull ban them for 5 years. To me, when you have a 5-star defensive lineman reclassifying from 2023 to 2022 to join a class with 3 5-star defensive linemen already part of the class, that's enough smoke and gun for me to bull ban them. Bull ban them. They cheated. Bull ban them. How are the boosters going to sue you? They can't sue you. We're not even dealing with the boosters at that point. We're simply bull banning Texas A&M for NIL cheating. The boosters can't sue anyone. How are Texas A&M boosters going to sue the NCAA if the NCAA bull bans A&M for 5 years? I don't understand how they would do it. Number one, I think they would find the proof. I know what the boosters are doing. They're trying to circumvent the rules and use NIL and being like, oh no, the kids didn't get the deals until they got on campus, when in reality they had written agreements or at least handshake agreements with many of these kids. I'm sure they had an agreement with LT Overton when he was still a part of the 2023 class, and they said, listen, you want money right now, reclassify, and we have a deal for you. It's total cheating. Look into that recruitment, you'll find something. The NCAA is so weak, they're understaffed. We need a separate entity to police this crap. We need a complete separate entity. This is a total train wreck. They're talking about them being understaffed and worried about being sued by powerful boosters. You don't have to, listen, bull ban them. The boosters can't do a thing. The boosters cannot do a thing. You bull ban Texas A&M, you put your foot down, you say, we're stopping this. you look into it, there's fears that they're not going to be able to find what they need. Number one, I think they would find at least something, especially with a kid that reclassifies from 2023 to 2022. Also, the Walter Nolan recruitment. I mean, you look into that, I'm sure there'll be loose ends. You could get them for something. The point of it is, everyone knows what Texas A&M did, and we're all on board with the smoke and gun, with bull banning Texas A&M for 5 years, and they can appeal it, and it might get reduced down to 3. They want to appeal it, it might get reduced. We might think about that. We might think about reducing it to 3 if they want to appeal it, but the reality of the situation is, I have nothing against Texas A&M. They saw an opportunity and they took it. What I'm saying is, now we're seeing in 2023, it's only getting more off the rails because these other schools like a Florida, like a Miami, like an Oregon, like a Tennessee, they saw that Texas A&M blatantly weaponized and cheated through the use of NIL deals. So they're saying, why can't we do it? Texas A&M got no punishment. If you punish Texas A&M, these other schools will be disincentivized when it comes to weaponizing NIL. And hopefully NIL will be done in a better way. It'll scare off the boosters at these other programs. They'll look at Texas A&M. You have to make an example out of Texas A&M. It's nothing against Texas A&M. They were really the one school to go balls to the wall in 2022. Now there's going to be multiple schools because they're looking and seeing that nothing bad happened to Texas A&M, and you're worried if you're the NCAA about boosters suing you. The boosters can't do anything. Just bull ban them. They can't do a thing. So, this stuff is just, it's nauseating. We keep talking in circles, but it is what it is, guys. We'll have to see what happens with NIL. When I saw that they were understaffed, this is a train wreck. No wonder the boosters are walking right over them. They're cheating blatantly and getting away with it. They're not even staffed properly to police the stuff. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you're following me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description. I'm, of course, the Depressed Ginger. Thank you for watching.